Now, Harshit, there is a question for you from a LinkedIn user. Unfortunately, there is no name, but whoever who is, thank you so much. And the question is, you mentioned beacon tech is used in Intugine solutions, and isn't it an overhead when you deploy thousands of devices in the operations that have periodic battery related or maintenance needs? So it's again we are kind of going back to cost versus value proposition. Harshit, over to you.
Yeah. No, I think this is very well put, and I think this is one of the challenges that we have been solving in our with Intugine in last few years. So I'll answer specifically for beacons that is discussed here, and then also answer try to answer for a broader range of devices, right? So when we talk about beacons, right, it is they are used to enable yard visibility. So basically, in a smaller area, in a warehouse or a plant, when you are trying to manage and get visibility of your loading and unloading operations, right from gating to the weighing points to loading and unloading, the invoicing area, and then the gate out. If you want to sort of track the whole journey, that is where we use beacons. And the way we are trying to solve this problem is to keep the number of devices limited, right? Because we will have to only track those vehicles while they are inside the yard, right? And at any point of time, there might be, let's say, a maximum of 50 vehicles which will be inside the yard. So we are capped to only, let's say, 50 or 60 such beacons. So the numbers of such beacons don't go beyond a number, and all the technology is plug and play. So the moment the vehicle reports at the loading point, right, you can just stick the magnetic beacon on the vehicle, and when it goes out, you can just take out that beacon at the security gate, right? And this plug and play operations make enable you to operate with much lesser number of these IoT devices, and you don't have to, for each shipment, you don't have to end up sending out a device. You can just plug it in at the gate in time, and then you can take it out when it is moving out, right? And the batteries are designed in such a way that they last for 2 to 3 years, and the cost is fairly low. So at a fairly low cost, you get a 2 to 3 year long life device, and the logistics to manage this recharging the beacons, etc., doesn't come into picture. So Vaibhav was pointing out, right, over time the power and the size of these IoT devices, that has been optimized a lot. So they have made much more smaller, much lower cost with much longer battery lives to be able to be viable in the market, right? So that is specifically to beacon. But yeah, when we talk about the larger, let's say, portable GPS trackers or smart locks, then you need a comprehensive device management system, right? A software layer which can help you manage the devices, make sure that you don't lose them, you recharge them at time. Those comes complementary with all the device solutions. I hope that sheds some light.
Excellent, Harshit. And then, yes, it's a very comprehensive kind of an answer using comprehensive device management system, right? Using solutions. So let's talk about technology because you kind of, Harshit, you push the needle towards technology. And let's get Vaibhav in, right? And Vaibhav, there are a couple of questions I have. One question is actually coming in from Mr. Vinod Kumar, right? And thank you so much, Mr. Vinod. And the question is, what are the key challenges for supply mapping and the best ways to overcome, right? So this is one question, Vinod. I have another question which is on the same ground because we're talking about mapping is what are the advancement we have made in technology on this front so you can map the data, the raw data, make it all inclusive into a decision making software and then go ahead. What's your thought on it, Vaibhav?
Yep. So very interesting question, Sanjay ji. I guess collecting the data, giving a visibility is one part of it, and as everyone said, that taking an actionable decision on it is second part. I guess a lot of softwares in terms of TMS systems, DMS systems, WMS systems are now coming up in India. In fact, what I feel is that putting the right TMS or a DMS or a WMS, I would call it a management system, MS. So putting the right MS systems in your business is a far more challenging problem that we are all facing, rather than telling that we need a visibility or not. So everyone agrees in the company that we need a visibility. Now we need a visibility, but what to do with that visibility? So we need to put a TMS system. Let's take example of transportation. So in my transportation system, I need to put a transport management system in the system, in the place. Now there are a lot of companies that are available giving a similar kind of solution. For it is getting more and more difficult for me to pick which is the right fit for me, uh, and which company should I pick and implement in my system, which gives me the best results in terms of value proposition, in terms of money spent versus the value that I get out of it. So mapping. So if I understand the question correctly, mapping your visibility to the systems is not that challenging, but selecting the right system is the challenge that at least I am facing today. I don't know which system to go with, and which company to go with, because a lot of companies have started coming up, and that's the beauty of technology, right? You do something good, and suddenly you realize that someone else is doing even better. And the technology is evolving, technology is getting developed every day. Every day, the new problems are getting solved, and we are just enjoying what these guys are doing. And companies like Intugine, companies like other companies who are into this, they are actually doing the real good work, real hard work, and we are just enjoying, um, because of that.
Thank you. Well, let me throw a goodie at you. And
Right.
you talked about technology is evolving and it is solving problems. So, which is very much that is on the left hand side of the curve, right? But isn't technology also creating some problems for some professionals? Would that be a true statement?
I don't know what you mean by technology creating problems for few professionals. So I guess you're talking about technology taking away jobs of few people. Is that what the question
Hmm.
is?
Hmm.
Right.
Yes.
So in my opinion, yes, due to technology, the right now the technology is impacting the lower level jobs. But what technology is in a longer run, what technology will do is it will eliminate the lower level jobs, but it will create a lot of more higher level jobs. So
Yes.
a lot of people will get into creating these technologies. So a lot of blue collar jobs will go away, but a white collar jobs will emerge. A lot of people will start creating these technologies, start building these businesses, and
Sure.
that's where a lot of job creation will happen. So yes, someone's benefit is someone else's job. Sorry, someone else's loss. But yes, in a longer run, the society will get benefit out of it.
Fantastic, Vaibhav. And this is all about trust and transparency. It's all about right communication and then getting closer to the truth, right? So, Hitesh, I would like to get you on screen. There's a question from Nilesh, and thank you, Mr. Nilesh, for asking this question. How do you make the information available, reliable, and closer to the truth? Just now we talked about reliability and closer to the truth. So, how do you make it available? Hitesh, over to you.
Right, right. I think it's a nice question, and a good part of has been answered earlier by Vaibhav and other team members. Couple of things which Vaibhav said, I'll just add to it, which will definitely bring reliability. Is one, he talked at about the selection of IoTs. Now we have a huge range of IoTs which can give the information and visibility with respect to our assets, orders, inventory. We talk about GPS, position sensor, RFID. Harshit talked about beacon. So use of IoT is one thing which will give more reliable data and more transparent data because there is no manual intervention. GPS will give you where the truck is. That is sacrosanct. Nobody is going to question where because nobody can tamper with that GPS data. So at least the use of IoT will give you more reliable, transparent data. Is one. Second, what also we spoke about is the selection of system. What system you select, because different applications, this different system has different way of capturing the data. And if we select the right kind of system which will suffice the need of the data information which is required, that will be kind of answer most of the questions. Third part which I would like to add more on this question is the process standardization, because there are so many warehouses, plants, or third party vendors, transporters, handling agents. Processes each of this node and each of the geography has to be standardized. If there are non-standard process, no matter what IoT gives you data, no matter what system gives you data, there will be different data sets, and everybody will make a different sense out of it. And hence, reliability, to bring have reliability in the information, I would put these three pillars. One is the IoTs, the second is the system, and third is the process standardization. On top of this, when we get the information, the reliability and trust has to be created, trust among all the team members, all the functionals on all the departments which are using. The trust has to be built, and how we build that trust is that when we get that information in automated reports, dashboards, what we do is we then don't have meetings where each people coming in with their own data set. Then we open up those live dashboards and discuss against those numbers only. If anyone has those trust issues, that has to be resolved before the meeting. So that trust will only come when everybody is working on the same direction, that everybody is going to use the same data set, standard data set, and standard process on the ground. Hope I am able to answer the question.